Okay, guys. So, if y'all didn't know, that was which most of y'all probably don't know, that was the opening to Colors, and it's off of it's a really good show that I have not watched. All I know is that it looks really beautiful. I heard that I heard that was like really good, but I only listened to the opening and that was it. It was called I think it actually was called Colors. I think it was actually called Colors Relaunch of Rebellion or something like that. I forgot, but I won't look it up because that means I'm gonna have to turn off my phone, which I'm using as the camera the whole time, which some of y'all probably did know. But anyway, So I've been meaning to do a tournament for a while, but like, I didn't want to just do a regular tournament. I wanted to do a mod tournament / regular tournament. So basically, you can have your mod. You basically not your mod, but like you can have different mods. If you want a mod, if you want me to make a mod, I could make one for you, or you could use the already modded parts that I made. So I really like the bay that I have made, and it's like kind of OP because it's literally like, so I call it Minos because it's like really small. So basically, it does a lot of damage for some reason, even though it's like a circle, and all it has is these little blades sometimes to hit others, and it has these little gaps to deal back damage. So like it has like a lot of defense and stamina because it's round. Well, it just has a lot of stamina just because it's round. It's not. It is kind of heavy due to the metal, but it also does some attack, some pretty good attack. But you know, with only the metal in this, it's basically just 3 attack, 3 defense, and 3 stamina. But with the Zeta, it adds on another 3, so it's 666 attack, stamina, attack, defense, and attack. Well, I mean not like literally attack of stamina, but 6 stamina, 6 defense, and 6 attack. I did not know I was saying attack over and over. But anyway, it's like a perfect 6. But like, that wasn't a joke. I would think that this will actually have a perfect 6 of attack, stamina, and defense. It wasn't like a reference or a joke to satanic things or anything like that. I was literally saying that it would be a perfect like 6 or something like that. But this is gonna be my bay, cause I think it's a perfect right spin bay. It's pretty good. So we're just gonna get to revealing what mods and stuff we have. So I want to get the main ones that I use out first. Let me just get those out. Sorry, I just have like a bag of bays. So anyway, let me just move my baby. Okay, so anyway, we got this actually is modded. So this was my reboot, kind of. It's like a reboot that has more attack. The only thing is you have to get a perfect. It's like there's a 75% chance. There's like an 85% chance that your launch is gonna mess up. But if you get it perfect, you could like deal so much damage. Because basically it's a tip, and it can easily just be pushed and deal like a bunch of damage. We also have my Kanox that I rounded off, so it's more like Kanox C3. I tested this against Excalius, and it can only take about 5 hits, and that's it. Then we have Edge. edge is shortened, so it's more of a defense tip, but it still has some stamina left over. And we got regular parts coming in. We have 4 with flow. You could, if you want it taken off, if you want the frame taken off, just let me know. If you want it on, just let me know. But it's basically a first come, first serve. So if there's so I'll be looking into seconds and minutes and hours. So if somebody says that they wanted Doomsizer first, then you wanted a Doomsizer, I'm sorry, but the first person is gonna have to get it. There's no sucking up or anything like that. So we got Doomsizer. We have 1, if I can get there we go, we got 1 Glade. Let me just get this, I have an experimental bay that most of y'all, I'm not sure if any of y'all know, but I have an experimental bay. Is basically Wyvern, but I tried to turn it into a Chao Zetsu bay. So I was trying to add on, add on metal, but then the heat, I don't know how, but the heat got to the bay somehow, even though it was kind of farish to where the heat wouldn't melt it, but it would start making the clear plastic a little bit foggy in the inside. And it just melted a little bit, but I just called it Zombie Wyvern, and it's actually a pretty good defense type because it has the ability to not burst sometimes, but it only works with some tips. So you might burst still, you might not. I'm not going to reveal what tips to use because that would be cheating, kind of. If you're singing, I think that's the kids that are in my neighborhood. For some reason, last night I just heard them singing for some reason. I was battling a friend and then I just heard them singing out of nowhere. Okay, so we got this reboot tip. I would say it's better in attack, but it's better than reboot. It's definitely an upgrade from reboot because it can still go into a defensive mode. It also has the same stamina, which is 0. Still has a little bit of defense, but it also has, I would say, at least 1 more attack. So that would make it a 9 out of 10 for attack. I think because Valkyrie's attack is 8 or something, 8 out of 10. Another Force, Unite, regular Valkyrie, Boost. We got Raptor, but we put these little weights on it, so it's a little bit more heavier, has more stamina, or it won't wobble that much. But I would say that this is the slopes in the inside. They're just I used this. This was one of my first bays. I had it for around a year, and I kept on using it because I really liked Rocktavor. But the teeth, not the teeth, the slopes, they just got worn down, so it's kind of baddish. It's almost, I would compare it to how Rocktavor Crash Ragnarok works. I would compare it to how Crash Ragnarok works because he's super easy to burst. This is also super easy to burst. So I would say use 0 or 8. 0 or 8 is the better combo. I'm only saying this because I don't want anybody just getting mad oh, I got a really weak bay. Yeah, and the host told me I had a weak bay. So that means that I should be in first or I have another chance. So yeah, just use 0 or 8 or something like that. Use 0 or 8, but it's all your choice. If you want to not use 0 or 8, you can use 1 or boost if you want, even yell or something like that. And next mod, we have our dummy tip. The dummy tip is a pretty good balance tip, I would say. It's almost as good or similar to Zypher. I almost said Trans is also a pretty good balance tip, but Zypher It's more like Zypher. And we have our Strike God Valkyrie. Now, Strike God Valkyrie, I'm gonna need to fix his, like, he's worn down as well as Roctor. I need to fix Valkyrie, but you can use them if you want. I would suggest not using them unless you just think that you have like a really good attack combo or like some attack idea. I would say use this modded reboot. It actually goes pretty well with it. We got Requiem, Spriggan Requiem, Yell and Orbit, Orpheus, Vertical, and Guard. You can use that combo if you want. Zillion, Zutron, Upper, Gyro. Also, I would call this a regular tip because all I did was that I made the spring a little bit stronger, so it's almost like Extreme Dash. If y'all didn't know, Extreme Dash is like it's like the better version of Extreme, so that's why they called it Dash. So it's like an upgraded version of it. Basically, it's the same, but like basically it just makes the base stronger, or it makes it a little bit less. It makes it like I don't know why I'm explaining. All I have to do is just say it makes it stronger. That's all. And then we have our Golden Wyvern that just fell out of my hand. Golden Wyvern, Boost, and Jaggy. That's also a pretty good combo because this Jaggy is like a level 3 and it actually does some pretty good attack with defense. We have our next one, our Bootleg Trans. So I have to constantly shave this because like sometimes it'll go into attack or defense position, sometimes it won't. Let's just move that a little bit over there. We got 6 Vortex. Is that all of them? Let's see. I think that's all of them out of the front pocket. Now let's get into the back. We got Cross. Also, Garuda is banned just because Garuda is unburstable. Like, Garuda's really unburstable. I really don't like it because, like, I'm pretty sure people have banned Garuda from tournaments just because of the fact that he's unburstable. I mean, all you need to do to win with Garuda is just get Bearing and, like, the lightest, like, the between medium and lightest disc you can find and just use it and, like, use Flow. And that would be, like, the most OP stamina type. Because Garuda's actually a pretty good defense type. I mean, as a stamina type, he's also pretty good, but as a defense too, yeah, that makes pretty much some good sense why. Let's just get a couple more pieces. Ripfire Revolve. I really just like how they took off the God ability. I mean, not the God ability. The driver's ability to revolve. So there's like no revolving part around it. It's just a big defense spinning driver. It's just a big driver. All the drivers, if you didn't know, they have some weird defense added onto them. I guess it's because they're more weighed down. You got Unicrest, Hyris, Excalius, Diomedes, Odax, Defense. I'm literally fishing through my bag for more parts. I mean, I had a box where I organized my Beyblades and I felt really great about it, but like the box just fell apart. And I'm pretty sure I just moved the camera. I just kind of hurt my leg. Let's just get that down there. We got a Nubian. Now it has metal marble balls in the side of it. It doesn't affect performance, but if I had a third one here, it would affect it. So that goes in the regular because it's only made for design. It doesn't improve in anything besides looking cool. There we go. We got Rip Fire Gravity. Oh no. The camera's not focusing in. There we go. We have 8. This is kind of modded. This is more of a defense. Not a very good defense, but it does work sometimes. Massive. Survive. I mean, infinite. I don't know why I keep on saying that. Like, every time somebody brings up infinite, I just keep on accidentally saying survive. Needle. And I'll be telling you, like, afterwards when I get all of them. When I tell you all of their names and stuff. Like, I'll tell you which ones are pretty good and which tips are pretty good and which ones aren't. We got oval. Wait, there we go. I accidentally put them in there, and one of the drivers pushed under there. So there was a mod for here. Basically, you flipped like a wheel on it, and it will turn from more stamina or not a more balanced mode into attack. So I guess I'll put that in there. Look at my new Vans. This definitely isn't an advertisement for some Vans. We got our marble tip. The marble, surprisingly, even though I got it on a level 4 bay, which was using Zutron, it didn't act like a level 4. I would say it acted like a level 2. But I made it more stamina, so it doesn't have all that defense-ish power. It just has like more stamina. Another yell. Triple. A variable that I want to say isn't that good. Oh jeez, I'm just pushing it like, okay. Let me just move it like here, because it's more regular parts than modded parts. We also have armed, Rocktavor, Point, Kriya Satan, 2, another Glade, Loop, and let me see if that's all the bays. I think I hear stuff moving around, but I'm not sure if that's all the bays. I think that was, but I'll just throw in the little... Okay, good. I thought it damaged it or something. This is the shield. It goes on with some medals, so you can make an OP defense type or not. It could work as a bootleg Revive Phoenix or not. Another triple iron, another Jaggy, and that's pretty much all I think I have on me. I think that's all the parts. So, yeah, let's get on to knowing which ones are good and which ones are bad. So, obviously, I dropped it. Obviously, this isn't that good when it comes to defense, but stamina-wise, pretty good. This is pretty good for a mode change, so defense to attack and back to defense and attack sometimes not. It's good mainly just for attack like it's supposed to be. This is good for stamina and defense. this is good for avoiding most attacks or some attacks. I would say it's like a 40% chance that you can avoid some attacks. Good for defense and sometimes not bursting, but it's also bad for stamina. This is pretty good for attack. This is also pretty good for stamina. Pretty good for not sometimes bursting or something. Pretty good for balance on general. Sometimes not that good. Sometimes not that bad. Really good for just surprising your opponent. It's just good to get back into the middle super easily. Surprisingly, it gets back in the middle faster than marble. Which is kind of weird because marble is supposed to be weighted down. While this is just wood. This is literally just wood. And it just pushes itself back into the center. Sorry for the silence. I was literally biting a nail because it felt weirdly uneven. So we got Jaggy. Jaggy is not that good in attack because I would say its level is like level 2. Pretty good in attack a little bit. But when it comes to that recoil, the recoil sometimes is a lot. Variable, also not a good attack type tip because it's a level 1. And it doesn't do that much damage because the way that it's shaped out. Revolve, pretty good as a defense. Surprisingly not good as a stamina. Let's just get some medals. Let's just move a couple of these over there out on the outside. So for the medals, we have armed. Armed is also pretty good for defense, just like vertical. Vertical is a little bit heavier than armed. So if you want a little bit of stamina, I guess picked armed instead of vertical. Triple is also pretty fast. It's a little bit weighted on one side for that little bit of attack. So I guess you want to do deal some damage. Just hope that you have this on a part. Hope that this lines up with a part that has like the best hitting spot or the best hit point. Surprisingly, 6. I do not find any parts on here that show that it might deal some damage. I mean, I guess if I guess I kind of, yeah, I really can't even find anything while I'm even squinting at this. Like, I'm looking, I'm just not finding anything. I guess it's better for, like, dealing more damage. I mean, it's balanced out. It looks like it's balanced out, so it's good for some balance types. Not good. It's just basically a bay that helps out everything. Kind of like 7. We got gravity for Ripfire. Now, it doesn't work with anything else but this. So, and you got boost. It's good for agility because if you didn't know, if it has wings, if you have a tactic that has wings going like this, it's most likely that it's gonna have more agility because the wind is rising up or down. Not sure. Not really. Wait, no. Yeah, it's supposed to make the wind rise up. While I think for stamina types, it's supposed to go down. So yeah. And the last one in my hand is 8. 8 is more of a balanced out item. So it has weighted parts on the ends. So that's for extra stamina, I guess. 0 is just a really heavy disc. I would say It's good for defense and attack and balance types, not for stamina, because you know you want to survive a little bit. I mean, you could be weighted down to a 4, but makes you lose a lot of, like, it makes you lose some, I would say, like, some defense if you choose a stamina type with it, because you go burst a little bit easier. We got Gyro. Gyro is good for taking in some attacks and trying to deal it back, or get in the center, or just save some stamina. Iron, pretty good for attack, because it's like the iron's a little bit ish of a stamina on it because it's metal. You got guard. Guard is pretty good as a defense / stamina type. It has a pretty good life after death. Not the best, but it's pretty good. Orpheus is pretty good because it's a defense type that's, well, it's a defense, or it could be a stamina type because it has roundish sides. It's a weirdly uneven defense type though. So if you can find a way to make it short, it deals out a little bit more damage just because it looks like this instead of being like this. With this part, it does take in more damage, but with this, it looks like it doesn't even take any damage at all, so it resists from most hits. Roctavore, pretty good, but not that good. Loop is also a pretty good defense tip or balance tip. I would say either way, Loop can like make you jump and slide off. The jumping part, that's for people that get really lucky. The sliding part is just a stamina ability that doesn't work that well, but we got another boost. Yell is surprisingly not a defense. It's a stamina, maybe because it's circular and it's pretty light-ish. Another yell. Upper is supposed to have some, let's just get that Jaggy right here. I think I already explained it. But upper is supposed to be a stamina disc that's supposed to take in a little bit more stamina due to the wings. So it's supposed to bring the stamina down. Or something like that. Yeah, it's supposed to bring the stamina, or the air circulation down. We have 2. I don't know why, but the 2 just looks like, it looks really weird. Like, I gave Kriya Satan to my girlfriend because my girlfriend, like, she really liked the design of Kriya Satan. She said that she polishes the bays, like, every part of the bay. And, like, I would say the shiniest metal that I have is literally 0. But like 2 just looks like it just went through something else. Like this looks like it's actual metal, while 2 just looks like plastic. Like it was created by a 3D printer. I mean, they kind of do look similar, but I think that 0 looks shinier than 2. And this has been going on for like 30 minutes. Like, seriously. If you made it this far, congratulations. You might get a bay. You might not. The only way to know is if you say this word before every last comment that you make. Yikes. But it's not yikes. It's just gonna be the code that you must say is 3 Z E N. Basically 3 Zen. But anyway, let's get back to saying what's pretty good and what's not pretty good. Kriya Satan, pretty good for defense, sometimes not. Because its God ability, the wheels are like so small that sometimes the God ability doesn't even work. like if they made it a little bit wider, like the wheels a little bit more bigger, I would say its God ability, like bigger than the wing, just a little bit more bigger than the wing. I would say its God ability would be amazing. Spriggan Requiem, pretty good bay if you have a OP tank on you. It's pretty good. I would say. Okay, also, I really don't like Elf Spins, but like only got Spriggan Requiem just to do a video about it, and because I was like, I want to see if this bay is actually pretty good, because I was actually gonna either get Shelter Spriggan, not Shelter Spriggan, Shelter Regulus or Deep Chaos, because I really like stamina types sometimes, but other times not. But I was just interested in Deep Chaos because K-Nox was pretty good bay with me. Like, I was interested in Deep Chaos because it just seemed like a pretty cool bay. While Shelter Regulus, I was like, ooh, that seems like it's pretty good. But then again, I saw that many people didn't like it because it was like, it has such good stats, but it was weak. Like, it's bursting. The chance to burst others was also pretty good. The chance to burst itself was pretty high-ish. So Spriggan Requiem, it has rubber, whatever Twin Nemesis has, that little weird rising and that little change smash hammer or something like that, yeah. Has Metal God chips, so I guess that's for weight. And it has left and right rotation. So yeah. Orbit, it's just basically atomic but smaller, so has a little bit of stamina, has some pretty good defense, but isn't that strong. Odax, I will say he's not that strong either because he's used a lot. I used him a lot. Diomedes, pretty good attack type. Let's say he can make a pretty good defense type too. But that's only because these parts look like they're defense material, but it's mainly good for attack. One pretty good attack. Vortex. I really don't see anything on how Vortex is helpful. I don't see how Vortex is helpful. I could understand for weight might equal defense or like a little bit more attack when it clashes into another bay, but yeah, I don't see anything. And then we got Oval. Oval is pretty good if you're trying to do like a leaning jump attack or just leaning or balancing out or stuff like that. But you got Voltrek, pretty good. I would say it's pretty good as a defense and attack and balance. Stamina, not that good. 4, I would say it's literally the same as Oval. It's literally the same as Oval. Oh wait, I'm not even showing it off. I keep on looking at the camera and I don't notice. So Oval is the same as 4. 4 is the same as Oval. Not sure if I showed y'all Voltrek. Glade. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It's more of like a bay that's supposed to if you get knocked back so far that it looks like it's gonna be a ring out, I guess Glade scrapes off from the floor and pushes you back in. But I really don't see that happen. Maybe it's more weighted or something from these little wings on the side. I don't know. We got Press. Press is a pretty good defense tip. I don't really see why they have the little points here. Guess to make the name make sense why it's called point. But it's a ball tip with little ridges on it. The ridges are pretty good for defense. We got Exalius. Once again, another piece that's pretty good for attack. And for some reason, I just noticed that, but my Exalius its piece is like weirdly shifting. Like it just like it moves up like a little bit, but you can't see it on the camera because you like need to focus. I don't know if y'all can see it. I could try and make sure that if you can see it moves, give a like. So yeah, you can see that move definitely. You can see the handle move. Yeah, you can see the handle move. So I don't know. I want to do a mod one side. Jeez. Jeez, who's beeping outside? But anyway, on one side, I want to do a mod with Excalius that makes him like turn into Buster Excalius. Like his sword just moves out. Like as soon as it gets like to the top part, like right here, it just stops and sometimes goes back in. But like that would be a pretty good mod, but I would do that only if I get a second Excalius. Defense is basically like press and guard and loop and orbit just turned into just one driver, and they created this. But basically defense came first, so I guess defense came in for the idea for all these other bays. And let me just get that. This is force. Force, surprisingly, it doesn't deal that much damage unless you have specific or like a couple of hit points. Because if you're like Doomsizer, you're not going to do that much damage unless you're a new Doomsizer in a level 4. Speaking of Doomsizer, not that good when it comes to attacking. Stamina and defense wise, pretty good. It literally, it's like so skinny. It's like super skinny, and it just avoids attacks sometimes pretty easily. Jeez, I'm like literally reaching over the camera. I'm gonna tip over this camera stand so easily. So anyway, Ziggy and Zutron, pretty good for stamina and defense, surprisingly. Hyris, pretty good in all, but attack-wise, not really that good. Wyvern, pretty good as a balance type, defense type, and that's all. Unicrest wasn't one of the best ideas to put it in as a pack, as an attack type. I seen it more as a balance type, but like as an attack type, it would be terrifyingly terrible. Like defense wise, it's pretty good. Cross is just basically like, I think it's just a metal, or like not a metal.